Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Tronzu. Test works. Fantastic. Thank you very much for confirming. I'm always just making sure everything's connected. Although I don't actually know if I need that to be... No, I guess I do need it to be connected today. It's nice to be back. It's been a while. Awesome. Alright, I think everything's connected. I think the title's correct. So let's enjoy. I actually think I'm just going to plain stop the music in the background. I don't even know if you can hear it, but I'm not sure if it's necessary. I think I'll put it back on if I maybe go make some tea something or whatnot. Alright, so on the menu tonight, we've got... Oh, so Tome is actually streaming their own game as well. I didn't know that they're doing this window, but also I literally only have this window, so if anyone wants to watch their game specifically and listen to their thoughts, they are streaming on their own channel. We've got Scribs versus Nestor, and then we've got Work Job 202 mongreltiger and paulofla and Rohitraj. I'm butchering the names, I'm sure. Two more games coming up, so we're going to get to watch about 4 games, which I'm pretty happy with. So let's jump into it and have a look. Actually, I do like the music in the background. I'm just going to leave it on. I can barely hear it. I don't know if it's really like audible, but I like having just something going there. So, the 2 games, let's just refresh, make sure, yeah. Here's the first game, Toy versus Jelly1. This is a board 1 game. You can see Jelly1 is 2,400, really strong. Tommy is black 200, 2,200, close to 2,300. And then we've got Scribs and Nestor. We obviously know that Scribs likes to play a lot of interesting things, so we'll be enjoying that game. And we also have covered Nestor in the past as well. So let's just catch up a little bit because these games did start a few minutes early. And I will get myself my little drinky drink as well. Oops, sorry. So, Toma and Jelle, this is a B3 cowboy. Um, a friend of mine in Osaka likes to play this as well. It's not specifically good or bad, Nimzo Larsen, but it is a move that can catch your opponent off guard if they don't really know the opening, although I'm sure Tommy knows this pretty well. Oh wow, and immediately going and just say, yeah, sure, I'll get on the same diagonal. Interesting. So bishop out and knight out. Yeah, obviously black needs to cover first before they jump out because you can't get there in time with your bishop. Alright, f3, bishop out. So I mean, black could end up setting up kind of like a King's Indian here. I played the King's Indian myself recently. Because I can't play league games so much, I'm playing just like a little bit of like 15 plus 10, trying to do some studying and some training, and I played against the King's Indian. It's still a very difficult opening to try and crutch, right? Alright, so let's continue here. G3, okay, so very symmetrical. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, this is intense. Everyone's fianketoing everything possible. Pretty interesting stuff. Castle, castle. Alright, c4, c5. Okay, we've got a symmetrical something on the board. Would this still be a Nimzo Larsen? I mean, that's how we opened up, but at this point it could kind of just be... I'm not even sure. Like a symmetrical... I want to know if this is symmetrical English. Alright, oh, again, the first time we actually get something slightly different. So knight c3 and e6. So e6 probably preparing d5 as a break. And then after that gets kind of sorted out, then maybe black can put a rook over. They still have to bring their queenside knight out as well. And white on the other hand, I wonder. I mean, you could break directly here with c4. But anyway, okay, so white just gets off the long diagonal. They can defend their dark square bishop. In this case, I'm assuming that white would be pretty happy to trade off because dark square bishop trade would mean that black's king has got some dark square weaknesses. So they don't specifically have to worry about the trade. I think black would avoid it unless it gives them a clear advantage because it's kind of a strategic blunder to fianchetto your king side, castle there, and then trade off the bishop. It's a bit dangerous. Alright, here comes the break for black. White takes once, and they take with the knight. Interesting. Okay, so there's a double attacking the knight here. White clearly saw this coming potentially, right? With the rook b1 move. They can take here, opening up this trade. And they do. Okay, interesting. They do. All right. Um, oh wow. Okay, so black's actually going to allow them to trade off the dark square bishops. All right. I mean, hey, if a board one does it, it's probably not a blunder, but as far as I understand, general chess situations, you probably want to keep your dark square bishop with your black if you can. But anyway, all right. So traded off, king up, and okay, we've caught up. We've caught up with the situation. We've got Prostitute in the game chat going, B3, amazing opening. Oh, I just messed on myself. I'm also excited. But actually, Prostitute, I'm not sure if this is really a B3 Nimzalaster anymore. We've kind of, transposed around a little bit, so maybe it's slightly different at this point. Oh, gotta dry myself off slightly here. I'm drinking some green tea, but now I've got green tea on me. Already the excitement is too much to handle. Alright, king takes, and this is where the position is right now. I think if I could choose, I would be white for sure. Having the fianchettoed bishop and still having it on the board, I think is really good for white. Black's got a pretty good kind of setup with their pawns though. They've got some good control here. Well, as I say that, white just says, well, you can't. If you take, I just take with my queen, check your king. So yeah, actually maybe my assumption of having a good pawn structure isn't quite as good as I was hoping. Interesting. Okay, we're going to move on to the other game just to check out what's happening there. Just to make sure we know what's going on, because in a few minutes there's going to be some more games, so we kind of want to have an idea of what's happening on all the boards. I will leave black to consider here. I mean, they're probably going to end up taking, to be honest. I don't know what else. The light square bishop has to stay on this diagonal till the knight moves, and you probably don't want to have an isolated c-pawn. Yeah, they take. Alright, so yeah, I think white's getting a little bit of an advantage. I don't think it's anything to write home about just yet, but probably the situation is a little bit more comfortable for white. Alright, but symmetrical pawn structure is coming. Really, the only difference is who's got which traded bishops. So light square bishops is kind of better for white, I would say. Alright, so let's jump one move back to keep this, and let's look at what Scribs and Nestor are getting up to. Alright, so Scribs and Nestor, we love Scribs. They love to play gambits. They are the Halloween gambit lover, so to say. I don't know if anyone has played the Halloween gambit against them, but they used to have like a channel. Scribs has had a long history in this community. There used to be a mod, I think twice. They used to have like this stop. I actually like left it eventually. They used to have like a top secret Scribs channel, Don't Look or something, where they would share just like the crazy amounts of prep they were doing in the Halloween gambit specifically. They really they loved it. Like the way Eric Rosen looked at the Stafford gambit, Scribs was all in on the Halloween gambit. Alright, let's have a look what's actually happening in this situation. So Scribs is black here. Alright, so a d4 game. Ooh, this is a Dutch f5. And, oh, interesting. I forgot the name of this. Is this From's gambit? So white gambits their e-pawn directly. But if this pawn moves out of the way, it gets a little bit dangerous for black quickly. So I'm going to cheat. I'm going to go over and just double check if this is From's gambit or if there's a different one, because I do not remember. This is Staunton gambit. Alright, cool. Sorry. So what's From's gambit? Like here? No, that's Kreshik. What's this? Alright. I'll have to double check what actually, I can probably check here quickly what From's gambit is. This would be in the Dutch defense. Don't look, this is my super top secret prep situation. Let's see if I've got it here. Mainline, classical, Raphael variation. Staunton gambit is what we just saw. Where's From's gambit though? Oh, I can't seem to find it here. Alright, we're going to give up on this. We don't have to find it. We can just go back to the game and enjoy. But white played the Staunton gambit. And I do know that this Knight c3 move is the Raphael in normal situations, but not after you've gambited your e-pawn. Alright, out comes the bishop and takes back. Okay. Alright, I wonder if this is already kind of like going off script a tiny bit. But white does get the bishop, get the pawn back, and now the f pawn's gone and the e pawn's gone. But if it favors anyone, it's gonna favor white in the short term, and then maybe black later on after their castle, because they'll have the half open file to attack down. Alright, so everyone's developing. Castling long maybe? Hello? Okay. They're still coming in with the goods. Okay. Fianchettoing the light square bishop. I guess that's fine. I feel like there should be a better move for black, to be honest. The problem is that they've got so much that is kind of not developed in this situation. White's just got great development. And the pawns are equal, right? So I don't really like black's position here. Not because it's super terrible or anything. Give it a few more moves. Let's see how it comes along. So Fianchetto and knight back. Okay, is white trying to push the f pawn? Oh, Buffer Underrun, are you checking out the stream at the same time? Because I see you just wrote in the game chat from's game it is f4 e5 fxe d6. Ah, okay. So the f4 e5. Oh, hang on, from's gambit is against the bird. Oh, I'm mixing this up completely. Thanks a lot. Okay, I'm completely lost. Okay, I'm just because oh, you know what? Because I was prepping it against someone like last season, and the bird and the Dutch, are so similar actually. So in terms of moving an f pawn, they're not identical, obviously. But anyway, all right, cool. So knight e2, interesting move by white, not committing their king in any direction. This could mean they want to launch their f pawn one or two squares. They could be trying to trade off that knight. And at the same time, black gets another bishop out, although if white castles long, I don't know how much you really want to take that g-pawn. Opening up the g-file could be quite dangerous. We'll have to see. Let's see. Alright, so okay, so short f3 move only. I wonder if this means that they want to just go like this, and they wanted to prepare the g4 move. The queen and the knight are taking care of f3, so it's not falling anytime soon. Although I could see in this position now if you play a g4, black and sack, because if you take you lose your rook, so got to be careful. 96. Okay, so black is getting out the rest of their pieces, and this is the position. It's kind of caught up now. Yeah. Okay, I think I realize what makes me uncomfortable with black's position. It's okay, and there goes white now with the long castle. Yeah. So white's definitely in this for an attacking game. Black doesn't have centralized pawns, and although they've got kind of development of a sort, it's not the type that makes me think they're actually going to like blast open the center, right? This is now an opposite castled game. White is the one that's been setting up to have good pressure on the king side against black. Black is not actually set up to hit the queen side too hard just yet. So, I mean, you could start pushing this pawn around. You can try and trade off a knight if you have to, but yeah, I feel like it's going to be a little bit tricky for black to attack. I feel like black's going to have to kind of wait and play reactively here, which is not my favorite. Although there might be some ideas with like the knights, trying to take the f4 square for the knight, the rook's defending it, so if you could trade a knight for a dark square bishop, that's pretty great for black, being the only one that has it. Obviously you want to try and keep your king safe. On the opposite end, I mean, white's got just like a clear plan. They're going to throw their pawns forward And at some point between the bishops, the pawns, and the rooks coming down the files, you know, something's gonna happen. Stuff's gonna. Who says that? Stuff's gonna happen. I think that's from some movie or series somewhere. Something's gonna happen. Maybe it's from a stand-up comic actually, talking about candlelight wine. Oh, he's making fun of Catholicism. Was he a Catholic actually? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. All right, our green tea is finished. Tokcha, like special tea, I guess. All right, I think we can have the other two games on the board as well now. Let's me actually, yeah, here's one already that started. Mongreltiger versus Workshop 202. Workshop 202 sometimes coming to join us in the recaps. It's nice to have them come past. So we know that they've had a tough season with their teammates as well. Let's hope that they have a good game here. Mongreltiger, I don't know, but I do like their little tent emoji. I used to go camping so much. And slowly but surely, after getting married, my wife called my kind of camping like survival camping, because I would I had like trekking stuff. I could carry everything with me, so it's really light, it's really small. It's not luxury, so she was not keen of my time. We've slowly bought some other stuff, so I think with little man we'll go hiking. We'll definitely go camping as a family in the future. Super excited. All right, E4 C5, sweet. Love a Sicilian. I recently watched a very interesting video from Hanging Pawns. They did a new one with like a small, like a, I don't know, it's like an hour video just kind of showing their total repertoire suggestion against the Sicilian. They play a lot of the stuff I play as well, so it was kind of fun to look and say, oh yeah, similar idea, and oh no, they do something different here, that's why. So yeah, it's a good video. I still like Hanging Pawns content after all these years. It's always been really good for me. Alright, D4. Hello, is this a Smith Mora? Alright, take the pawn. It's not a Smith Mora. It's a transposed open Sicilian. Alright. Yep, I mean, this is the open now. And this is a Sveshnikov. Love it. Alright, hang on. Now I kind of like Black's game. I do play this Sveshnikov myself. It's really fun. It gets very tactical. Black is basically always looking to make some kind of attack go down on the king side eventually. You're going to break with f5 and all kinds of things. They are obviously variations, but that's kind of the basic plan. And the thing you give up is you give up your d5 square. It's always going to be weak. You don't have a pawn to kick anything there. But white doesn't always have anything just because of that. Yeah, but it's really interesting and tricky. And never mind, white just says, I'm not going to give you a Sveshnikov, really. I'm just going to take your pawn. So I mean, ach, your knight. This could still be called a Sveshnikov, I guess, but I don't term this as a Sveshnikov because none of that stuff is true now. You can take with the D pawn. That square is covered. You know, we're just in a game. Oh, okay. Black says, never mind. I'm going to take with my B pawn and maybe look to crash open and keep control in the center. Okay, okay. And also no trading queens. No trading queens for you, white. Fair enough. Bishop c4, still just developing normally. This also helps to cover the squares, so now you've got 3 defenders, so if they push, it doesn't work. Alright, darks the bishop out, and I'm assuming white's going to castle here. Darks the bishop out doesn't actually do anything, to be honest. There's no like immense plan to attack just here right now. White could potentially want to bring out just the other knight to the king side to be safe. In the normal Sveshnikov, you often throw your queen out here with your pawn attack and whatnot, but now the game's kind of changed, so not so sure what's going to happen. I expect white would just castle in this position. Workshop does it a lot of times, so maybe they're just taking a second to consider their options. And I think we are going to step 1 move back and check the 4th game, just so we have all of them on the board. Rohitraj versus paulofla. Flanagan. John Flanagan. I watched the Netflix series called Zero Day recently. It's only 6 episodes long. Robert De Niro. It's, in my opinion, really good. I loved it. I was really sad it was very short, but it was super, super fun. I really enjoyed it a lot. Alright, let's have a look what's going on here. This is another high-rated game, so this would be board like 4, maybe board 3, depending on how the teams are organized. Anyway, I think maybe it says here what board it is. Yeah, it is board 4. Okay. Alright, so let's have a look. It's E4 game. It is another Sicilian. Very nice. Knight f3, knight c6, and it's an open Sicilian. Okay. Um, Definitely the open Sicilian is the one that's kind of the critical line in the Sicilian, right? But I also think that definitely from my own experience in the past, you don't get the open Sicilian nearly as much as all the other variations. The close, the close, the Elepen, the blah blah blah, the Rossolimo. So yeah, anyway, here we go, and okay, so now we're looking at what this can go into. Sure, what do we have? The Khan. Is it Taimanov with the E pawn? Um, I'm not exactly sure. I know that there's like the uh, oh man, I don't know if I can pronounce it right now. I'm a little bit tired too. Shevenigan? No, I'm butchering it. I don't remember the words, but like the small pawn center is also something black can do. I also think that this can sometimes go into like the French kind of structure, but not now. Oh, and we might get a Marazzi bind on the board. I used to play the Marazzi bind. Really fun. If you win, you feel like an absolute champion because black can't do anything and then you just go, ha, I win. But it's actually not nearly as easy, and you've got to be very careful about how you proceed once you've set up your situation. Alright, so yeah, f3, this is very much Marazzi bind territory. Uh, Nice. See, already I think I would have made some mistake here. So you have to bring your knight back to defend the other one. Queen comes out. Defend the knight. Bishop comes out. Trying to trade queens. Oh, okay, so things are changing big time, hey? So here, you can throw in a check. That would be mate, right? So this is actually a very interesting kind of smothered mate situation. I don't think I've seen this pattern before. Um, Alright. You could have also just gone... No, I don't. Well, no, if you go one square, they could still kind of mess with you with your knight, and then you have to go here because then you have that problem on the board. Okay, yeah, so queen b3 in this situation does look like it's a little bit safer. Hey, Guitar Spider, good evening. I'm so happy to have someone chatting in the chat because I need to ask you. I bought myself 3 types of drink tonight, and I can't decide which one to have. I might not drink all of them, so it's important. I'm actually going to show you quickly, and you must please help me choose whatever you think sounds good. The first one is sake tonic. So this is sparkling sake, so nihonshu, and it's got some. So I'll just read it. Yoshinogawa Sake Brewery's Junmai sake. So Junmai is, oh man, I can't remember. I used to work at a brewery actually, but basically it's a little bit more. I want to say like raw. That's not the right word for it. Anyway, it's good. Junmai is good stuff. Sake is blended with a tonic taste, sparkling water, and orange peel flavor. Alright, so that's number 1. Number 2 is another kind of just like flavory thing. Mango, 10% mango juice, sparkling. Just it's like a chew high, what we call it here. It's just like sparkling fruit juice, 4% alcohol or something. And I've also got, I can't read this kanji, I'm too lazy to try and remember what it is. Oh, it's written on the side, Hanayoi. So Hanayoi is, this one is just kind of another sparkling 3%, and it looks like it's like a lemon flavor. Unless you're not even there, unfortunately, then no one will tell me, and I'll just have to wait and decide for myself in a second. Alright, let's get back to this game. Yeah, so we're setting up a Marazzi bind. Things are getting kind of spicy early on. Yeah, getting that queen check, that king check in already. The first one, thanks a lot, Guitar Spider. I will definitely have this first one then. Appreciate your input. As always, much appreciated. King D1. I feel like black's definitely getting the best of the situation, but that also makes me feel like maybe white made a mistake because I don't think this is supposed to happen. I feel like something's gone wrong for white. I could be wrong, but I feel like something's gone wrong for white. So I'm just gonna go back a second here and have a look. Alright. C4, that should be fine. That should be okay, although you could also just play F3 here immediately. You could also play take and then here. Alright. F3, queen up. So, nah, I mean, you could give up a pawn in so many ways, but probably not the best to do that. So maybe this is okay. Queen up. This is just a problem, right? Maybe here... Ah, no, you can't jump your knight out at all. Maybe here, instead of breaking the pin, you had to just immediately put your queen out, hitting the bishop so it can't move without forcing the trade. I wonder. Anyway, now you do have this potential option. Alright. But you can't do that because this is actually mate, which is crazy. I think that's very interesting. I don't know if this is a pattern that's normally happening. Alright, so queen b3 checks the king, come over, and now black has to decide if it's worth trading or not, and if not, they gotta move their queen out of the way somewhere. If I was black... Having the king not be able to castle kingside seems like a win. Makes me feel like I want to keep the queens on the board and I want to launch my queenside pawns because the king's kind of stuck in the middle, but it's kind of in the middle towards the queen side. You know, it's already sitting here, so maybe running back somewhere and then just kind of starting here. I wonder if you could even just, at this point, just throw in a castle immediately if you could, and then just break open the center and see if you could punish the fact that the king's sitting in the middle. That seems like a pretty good plan as well. So if I was black here, no queen trade. I don't like putting my queen out here in the front. I don't think any of these squares, I mean besides the ones that I already like don't work out, I think it's not worth it. I wouldn't mind going here. I would be happy for them to do this because I can fall back and cover the square. They could come out with their queen, hitting it again. That's actually maybe not the best then. So maybe you just come back here directly. So that even if they jump, you can just immediately pull it out, and in that case your bishop can also come back sitting on the c5 square. Yeah, so queen d8 is my move, so I can castle and I can start breaking things open because your king is sitting in the middle looking a bit silly. Alright, let's get a sip of this. So, sake tonic from the Yoshinaga Sake Brewery, which is in... Let's see if it says where it is. Nope, zero information. Yeah, I gotta be old enough to drink. Here we go, here we go. Chiba-ken. Wow, okay, so Chiba-ken, this is actually from Chiba, which is next to Tokyo on the east side. I didn't know... Yeah, I didn't even know that there's some breweries there. Alright, let's have a go. So, we're gonna go back to the first games. I don't think we have to be inside. Here we go. We're gonna go... Actually, hang on. I like the order to be the way we've looked at the game. So we're back at Tome's game against Gene1. This is rather good. This is rather good. Yeah, that's not bad. That that tastes a bit like when I was in university, which obviously I never had sake really in university, so that doesn't make sense. But oh, you know what? This tastes like Smirnoff Spin. That's why. Yeah. In Afrikaans, you call it a sletsappie, which is not a nice thing, but I'll translate it just for the funny of it. A sletsappie is like a is like slut juice, but the point is that you can use it to like make girls more available, you know. Yeah, it's unfortunate how when you grow up you realize a lot of stuff which sounded totally fine back in the day kind of doesn't anymore. All right, let's not focus on that. So D4 black did take. We did see this. I did say that I like white's position here because they have their fianchettoed bishop on the board still, and black doesn't. This is by no means losing or anything, but I think it's just a bit more comfortable for white. Black has to be careful. Things like this, just like an easy check. Oh, okay, well, that's fair enough. So if you trade off queens, then I think black doesn't care which pawns are on the which bishops are on the board. Then things are pretty great. Yeah. So white's not going to do that. Just gotta try and keep that advantage that they have. Drink names can be risky for sure. Yeah, I mean that was not a drink name. That was like a slang name for the types of drinks. All the like fruity flavored alcohol ones that were specifically marketed at women. Um, yeah, it's that image. I don't know if I want to get into this too much, to be honest. University was very fun, although the first year I was in a hostel which had a lot of initiation stuff, and I really disliked it. I had this initiation stuff when I was in high school as well. Really disliked it there as well. I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff. But anyway, all right, knight a6, hitting the queen, coming out to the c5 square probably, which is a great spot for the knight. And you currently have control of e4 as well, so the knight can come over here. You could also maybe like reroute a knight back to f6 as well, although I don't know if you really want to, because then they could pin it against your king and you have very few pieces that can defend that. So queen takes back, hits the knight, c5, great output for the knight. b4 is obviously an option. White just decides to get their rooks out. You've got the two open files obviously play, so that should be good. Swamp water. Oh yeah, no, swamp water. What the hell is that? No, I meant like a category stuff, and it was specifically like the fruity things, which kind of historically, generically used to be a bit more like high marketed towards women. I did love the nightlife culture at my university. There were literally like clubs and bars at the edge of campus. Um, Actually, the liberal arts, or the liberal arts, like the drama, liberal arts, whatever drama building was actually across the road from some of the kind of more like open bar. You could eat there as well in the day. It was a restaurant turned bar evening kind of thing. And there was always this story that like one of the lecturers just like took the whole class and said, guys, how about we just go like have class in the bar today instead of staying here in the whatever lecture room they were in. So yeah, good times. Yeah, a lot of stupid shit. Super happy that I got out safely, because man, you're such an idiot when you're younger. Says the guy who's like, I mean, I'm closer to 40 now. I guess I get to say that nowadays. I'm mostly just very grateful I'm okay, because life was very, very fun, but looking back, goodness me. Anyway, alright, so rook over a5. Didn't expect that. I was thinking that black would probably just put their own rooks out. a5. I guess this means they can move their rook now because they couldn't before, because the queen was putting pressure on the a pawn as well. I do also see that now you could reroute your knight to the b5 square, although I don't think that really matters. Although you could do this, move your bishop, and then put your knight on d5. This is a very long-winded thing, but you would press the a pawn and then you could still jump here maybe. But in the meantime, obviously, you also get to just move your rook. And the the weakness of the B pawn. I wonder, it's not that easy to get there. It's a dark square, so the light square bishop doesn't really play against that, so I'm not sure. Beer and Coca-Cola. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, so wait, so that's the name of like not a like commercial drink. You're talking about the name of just like something people mixed, right? When I was in my first job, um, actually it was my second job in that company. My manager had this thing called a rumbler, something I guess it's something he learned about when he was back in the day a student, I guess, and that was beer with a shot of whiskey in it or something ridiculous, and you just had to like down the whole thing. Super stupid stuff. But anyway, I mean, oh, this is great. This is the South Park quote from Chef. There's a time and place for anything, and it's called college, right? So, yeah, if you get to have college life, and get to just, be an idiot for a while, it's a great chance in life to do that. You're not aware of the amount of risk you're actually opening yourself up to, the consequences of what you are able to get up to. Your access and rights outweigh your understanding of the risks you are taking, I think is kind of the way I would put it. But anyway, it's a great time. Motor oil. Yep, I could see that. I know a brown cow is just Coca-Cola and milk, but I don't drink Coke anyway, really. And I don't know why anyone would drink Coca-Cola and milk. All right, 92. Okay, wow, interesting. So now White's also saying, you know, have it. You can trade the light square bishops, and then I can actually hit that backwards pawn. And if you move it, I could actually take your A pawn probably, and then defend my knight with B4. So then I would have a potential endgame advantage on the queen side, although it's probably still super equal and all that. Alternatively, I wonder if you could actually just play knight c4 immediately, targeting that, and kind of telling black, like, you can take here and I'll take with my rook. Your rook's hanging. I guess the immediate threat is also just to take the pawn and isolate the d5 pawn. That kills your jump with your knight, but you could come back and then try and stop that pawn from getting there. I wonder, yeah, you'd have to defend it you'd have to attack it a few ways to actually get it, but you could. Especially if they move it, you could put your queen behind it. We should probably try and take care of one of the other potential defenders of the pawn. Interesting stuff, but the game is definitely slowed down now. And also they've traded so much, eh? So I wonder if the mindset here is that we don't specifically have to win, we're okay to just, keep things safe and easily. I'm always of the opinion that people who are like really high rated, like so Jele one, for instance, I feel like you get there, I mean this is kind of obvious, you get there like by playing a lot, and it's a little bit like, it's silly, it's a little bit like poker, where low variance long term is kind of the way that you secure that position. So if you play like crazy positions all the time, you could probably get to 2,400 and well, but it might be harder than just playing kind of safe, like getting an equal position late game, not risking much here, and maybe your opponent pushes too much and then you have an advantage. And if nothing happens, maybe you just end up drawing. I also just realized you might have e4 here actually, because you've got it defended a few times, and then after the bishop moves, what then? Then I guess you could hit the queen and the bishop at the same time. So actually this might be pretty good as well, and you can't take because you end up just losing a piece for it. So maybe White's real threat here is e4, pushing the bishop, and then you hit the queen and hit the bishop at the same time. Is Flippy Floppy Jelly 1? I definitely am not 2,400. I'm trying. You caught me on my very first try streaming my Road to Better Chess series, right? And I realized that I shouldn't stream it. It's just too much effort. So I just played offline and I upload it. I'm trying to slowly build up. I'm trying to do exactly what I just said now. Play a little bit less, you know, crazy for tricks, amazing stuff, and just be solid, get a good position, understand the general theory and the reasons for it, and then win because, you know, I'm playing more solid. But I don't know, you know, you tell me. You're higher rated than me after all, yeah? Mr. Board one himself as well. If we add our ratings together, I guess that's one way to get there. Yeah, I guess that's one way we could make it happen. I wonder if I would ever be that high rated. I'm assuming not. Maybe I'll just never be good enough. Maybe I'll just never put in enough time and focus. But I'm trying to improve. Road to 2000 Rapid. I mean, my you mean my series, right? I'm basically 19 something anyway, right? So I also don't want to make it such an obvious like road to 2000 and I like win 6 games in a row because pool people don't pay attention, focus, or like prep much. And then like the series is done. I made it. 2000 finished. So yeah, I don't want to put a number on it because then also if I achieve it, then what? Now I'm gonna increase the number again. I might as well just rather try and improve my actual chess overall. Hello Ashka, man. Aksha, oh sorry, Akshak. Apologies if I'm butchering your name. Akshas Patil plays chess. Hello, hello. Welcome to come. Thank you for coming past. I don't think playing more solidly necessarily leads to improvement, lol. Oh, you think so? Honestly, just train calculation flip is really skyrocks. I mean, I can't argue with you about training calculation improves your chess. And actually, hang on, before I continue, let me just let me just look at one more game because I feel like we're going to end up talking so much. I'm not even looking at the chess anymore. Let's just get to Scribs game for a second, and I'm going to come back to you about this because I agree what you're saying. I just want to look at the game quickly, and then I can blab on again about what I'm saying. So, in the game here, this game continued. Oh no no no! This game continued way past. We saw f3, we saw knight c6, we saw the castle, and this is kind of where we stopped. So, a5. Yeah, black understands that they need to make some kind of happen story on the queen side, but I'm still thinking black's a little bit more reactive here than aggressive. Is white gonna take that knight? I feel like that's not gonna happen. What's the... Oh, is the point of this just to stop the pawn from moving? And if you push your bishop here, then what? Oh, you can't because it's gonna drop. Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna read all the comments in a second. Hang on, I'm just trying to check out this game quick. Okay, so stopping the black pawns from coming forward. Jumps the knight out of the way. I guess this puts the c pawn on the board potentially. If you push the a pawn, is that a win? I guess you could come here, which is a nice spot as well. You might end up trading off some pieces. King over to protect the pawn. Knight over anyway. And yeah, I mean, you're going to take, right? What else are you going to do here, really? Another knight, you can drop the bishop out of the way, or you can just say, sure, take it, I guess. I don't know, if you trade too much, I feel like there's not going to be much of an attack, and there's just going to be an endgame. I was really hoping white would be launching their pawns, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen, so maybe black is able to defuse the situation easy enough. Maybe this mindset is the one that wasn't worth it. Maybe you gotta start, just go for it. Put a rook over, go go go. Alright, we trade once, we trade our darks with bishop off as well. So black has the bishop pair, white has almost nothing focused on the king side anymore, so this is no longer a massive king side attack. So what's white's plan now? Just I mean, c6 here looks pretty good. This pawn is still covered, your bishop has to move, and then I can get my pawns rolling further. Oh wow, okay. I don't know, Nesto kind of like phoned in this amazing attack I thought they were building. Now actually the position looks slightly better for black. They've got the bishop pair. They're the ones with some pawns already marching towards the opponent's king. I mean, could even like start doing some silliness here just to trade everything off if you really wanted to. Huh. Alright, hang on, I'm back. I don't know what Patul Place Chess's rating is. Patul, are you super strong? Can you give us some advice about how you think you should improve? My comment just now was that I think that playing solid and kind of just good principled chess is the way to improve. Barbie came at me with the reality check, and just kind of said, yeah, you should just be better at calculating. Thank you, Bobby, for your honesty. Let's see. It depends on where you struggle, but honestly, just train calculation. It really skyrockets improvement. Slow, hard calculation. Akshat is strong. Yeah, but streaming is ugly. I mean, streaming, I feel, is kind of, it's a little bit, there's a little bit of training here. I get to see a lot of positions, which is nice, you know, so even if I don't specifically play those positions, I get to see some interesting ideas sometimes. But I'm not heavily calculating much, you know, I'm not doing some heavy calculation. I tend to enjoy looking at the ideas and then just kind of chilling out. You know, I'm here drinking my sake tonic. I'm not exactly hard focusing calculation. But yeah, it's a fair point. And yeah, okay, as you say, so yeah, you try always like a different position. So I do like that. You say white feels better, Akshak. He's Akshak on leeches, basically. Okay, hang on. All right, we're gonna quickly go search for you, Akshak. Is this you? Mother of Akshak, how are you so good? And you're from Ukraine? No way. Who's that guy? 111 stories, man. You've won some stuff here as well. Rapid 100, Marathon 500. Goodness me. How how are you so good at chess? Mother of. That's disgusting. Time featured on TV 3 hours. Time spent playing 36 days. You are way too strong. Alright. Okay, Akshak. Take the wheel. Tell us what you think about the positions. Goodness me. No, okay, well, you're clearly very highly rated, alright? So, hyperbole and silly comments aside, assuming I'm using hyperbole correctly, I mean, you're very strong. And you're very strong in all the... You're very strong in all the formats. And that's kind of the key, right? You could be really strong in classical, but you suck in blitz, for instance. But you're 2004, 500, 300, and higher on everything. So... Yeah, pretty good. I mean, your name does say Patil is basically 100% Indian. I think there's no one not Indian called Patil anywhere, but I do see the Ukraine flag, so I was kind of wondering what that was about. Yeah, okay, so if you've got any secrets for us, what do you think is the best way to improve your chess? Let's not say at a specific level, just whatever helped you throughout the time. Sowing confusion. Guitar Spider just causing trouble everywhere he goes, I guess. Alright, hang on. So we're not covering this. We just saw here A3. Yeah. So, actually, you did say that you think white is a bit better here. I mean, it's hard to argue with you now, given what I know about the rating, but for me, it feels like black has an easier game. Like, if just a few moves back, I mean, this looked like white was the one launching some amazing attack. Black had a very passive position. They needed to do some knight jumps. I was expecting maybe them to try something like this as well. But yeah, very, very quickly the situation has changed. And now, I mean, I could take black or white here. White still has a bit more, you know, control in the center and all that. But black's the one with some pawns rolling forward, you know. And this is opposite castling, so gotta be careful. Gotta be careful because it's not about who's got the most material, it's about who's actually opening up the kiln, right? White next bring his bishop back to D over here, yeah? I mean, I didn't really think it should go there in the first place. I want to see the pawns move, but that's also just me wanting to see the fireworks on the board. But yeah, I feel like black's gonna make them bring it back as well, you know? Just, I don't know why they haven't played it already. They do have a bishop taking care of all these squares, so it looks like they could do. Hey Martin, welcome to the party, man. Good to have you. I hope you're doing good. I'm not promoting, I'm not related, but just for your information, Martin, I'm drinking sake tonic, which tastes a little bit like Smirnoff Spin. So you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, which is a bit of a surprise. I didn't expect it to taste like third ox spin. CS is very tactical. It's got, oh yeah, here we go, C6. So black's got the same kind of image that I have about the position. I mean, here you could actually play D5. It does give you a backwards pawn, which might be, okay, wait, no, that's terrible. Too hard to defend. Maybe you have to play H6 first and then D5, so this knight can't jump over. Although you can actually take it, so maybe it doesn't matter. But I like this and then just crashing over the position. Oh, never mind. Scribs is moving quick. So white does play Akshak's move. They're probably in the stream chat checking out the Akshak advice, right? That's a dangerous thing. Nestor, if you're here, get out. Don't do it. Definitely a sponsorship. The things we do for money. Oh my goodness, dude. I honestly, Smell Spin is turning back the years. See, I know, right, Martin? I was just actually saying it reminds me about being in university, and then I realized why. It's because it tastes like Smirnoff Spin, and I went on a whole tangent about university life. Those were the days, eh? Yeah, Mortemort was in university with me. That's actually where we met. They're still in South Africa. I'm over here now. So yeah, and we both like CS, Counter-Strike, but after my connection sucked and I couldn't play anymore, I kind of stopped following too much. Now I should play H4. Yeah, I mean, I want white to be like crashing through these pawn situations. So maybe I spoke too soon, and maybe black's position isn't so bad. But honestly, I feel like black has a pretty good position as well. Just having the faster pawns. That's kind of the way I'm judging it. I'm just seeing the faster pawns. All right, let's move on a little bit to the next game here. So we had a Sveshnikov that got changed, right? So they took the knight on c6, and black took back with the b pawn, so no queen trade. They still have this d5 break potentially later on. Smirnoff doesn't do any of those mixed drinks. Yeah, man. I explained what a sled suppy is, and then I thought, like, it's kind of not the nicest name. I'm so old and prudish now, thinking that these things are nice, but yeah, anyway. Yeah, the brandy rum and Coca-Cola mixes have become quite mainstream. I could see that happening. Fair enough. I mean, here in Japan, there's a whole, like, I bought some different drinks, and there's constantly limited edition drinks available in the convenience stores. If you've ever been in Japan, convenience stores is like the lifeblood of any foreigner here. Not just foreigners, obviously, but it is really so convenient. You have everything you need, including, like, if you stayed over at someone else's place for the night and the next day if you work, you can go get like socks and underwear and stuff as well. It's really everything you need, yeah. You're here for the pawn slaughter. Brutal fruits. Oh my goodness, brutal fruits. And brutal fruits you'd have to, like, you'd put in the straw, right, and over the side, and you'd like torpedo it. Oh my goodness. Alright, so let's see what's happened here. Yeah, okay, we did see this. Oh wow. White's actually just like, cool, double up my e-pawns. I'm gonna castle after that, I guess, and hit your f-pawn. I'm not a big fan of this. I think they should have just castled. Okay. Alright. Oh, and now you can't castle, but the queen coming out is equally dangerous, isn't it? Now you can triple up, you can bring your own queen around, you can put your queen over here, depending on where they go. Yeah, white's gonna castle long now, I guess. Attacking the h-pawn and the king and the e-pawn, attacking everything. Takes the e-pawn, takes the f-pawn with check. I don't know. This is really fun, but losing the f-pawn and now your king's sitting in the middle of nowhere is kind of dangerous. Coming over here, being able to check again. Actually, you can just come straight here and just cause some problems. Although maybe you want to, like, I don't know, defend your king first in some way. How would you defend your king here? I mean, you could also just, like, trade off the queens, I guess. Queen d2 does it. Fair enough. You protect all the pawns. And now you can play rook c3 and hit that queen, get it out of the way. Indeed. And now you can actually castle, protect the b pawn. Yeah, well, this looks like it should just be like winning in some way. Does castle. Queen back hitting the light square bishop. Light square bishop can come back either direction. I would say I like Actually, this looks fine because you've got the knight also helping to cover the a4 square, so it's not like they're going to be able to push your bishop around. So any reason you might want to come down this way? I don't think there's anything special here. Yeah, I can't really decide which I like more. I do think they might bring their own light square bishop out to one of these diagonals, in which case it might be nice to just have yours available. But right now, you don't have a pawn covering the d5 break, so if you put here, you're going to have to lose some time to run away again. Oh my goodness, white finds a lovely little trick. Can't take the knight because life, I guess. Oh, hang on. The bishop's protected by the rook. I'm falling asleep. Got to tell me when I'm falling asleep. Queen d2. Yeah. White is clearly better. White's clearly better. That is not racist. The bishop. Yeah. Sorry, Patil. You're sorry. Should I call you Akshak? You are right. I'm just falling asleep here. The rook is obviously protecting him. White is better. They've been able to castle. They've got both their rooks on open files. But I was not a fan of this original plan with the doubling the pawns here. I think here actually maybe if black was able to just castle up, I feel like they would have been doing pretty well as well. I mean, they could even do this and then crash over because they would have sufficient stuff to be able to crack open the center, right? So I don't know if they were better from the start, to be honest. Rook covering bishop. Hey, nice, Martin. You're catching on. Well done. You gotta correct me when you see something wrong, right? Bobby, is that F smiley face your version of swearing online? What is that? Hey, Jordan. Welcome to the party, man. Glad to hear you. It's been a while. Hold on, I forgot my popcorn. Get your popcorn. Get your drink. I'm drinking something that takes me back to university days. Okay. Akshak says that white is prepared. You think white is actually playing some heavy theory here? I mean, maybe. Alright, bishop is double attacked. Now goes back to b3. But now a4 hits the bishop and you have to move it again. So that was the only thing I didn't like about that. I wanted to have the knight here for that. Rook a7. Maybe they're trying to bring their up and rook over and trade on the f file, and if they take, they don't want to leave this unprotected. Maybe that's what's going on. Hang on. Vafanapoli? What is Vafanapoli? Can I copy that? Is that Italian swearing? Go away, Naples. What is that? What the hell does that mean?
Vaffanapoli.
Vaffanapoli. Vaffanapoli. Is that something that I shouldn't be saying online? I wouldn't know. You're a bad influence. I feel like Mike must have had something more direct. Yeah. I mean, they're not doing bad for sure. Black's like the Silver King. That knight on d6 is crushing. I mean, you never actually want to trade it, right? You just want to chill. It's covering all the squares here, so the black knight also can't come in. It has to come in this way. What's it going to do there? Then it's going to come to the f6 square. It could have gone to earlier, actually, as well. It's not a swear word. It's not even a word. It's what Joey from Friends says to pretend he's Italian. Oh, is that it? Oh, man. Friends was fun. Friends was fun. Friends was strong on the laugh track, right? Yeah, but there was some fun stuff there. All right, let's continue. King's coming out. Just getting away from things a little bit more, I guess. Yeah, you're not running that way anytime soon. Fair enough. All right, hitting the knight and the rook, and the bishop is protected. I mean, work job 202. You're 1400 apparently, but I think you're playing quite well. Stronger than I expected someone to play. That's 1400. Not good or bad. Just playing some great moves here. So very good. Black's position obviously also pretty rough. You've got an easy check here to push the king around if some reason if you need to. So take with the rook. Displace the queen. And oh, it just picks up a g pawn. Does this allow for anything further? Not really. I wonder if there's a... Oh, hang on. Okay, maybe white missed a little trick here. After this, you can check the king. It has to go here or here. Never mind. I'm being an idiot. I'm thinking the king runs away and then you can take the pawn, but it's also pinned to him. But it doesn't work because it's protect... Yo, this sake Tonic is hitting me big time, it seems. But till you say he's good, yeah, man, he's playing really well. Apologies, I'm assuming you're a guy. You know, most chess players are, most online game players are. But if you're not, I can't tell. Well, the Akshak sounds, I would say, a bit more of a masculine name. I'm not, very good with Indian names. I've been to India a few times though. Really nice. Um, Obviously, pretty crazy in many ways. Sometimes super dirty, but amazing place. So interesting. Hmm. Maybe someone's or queen to an a pawn. Oh, you're saying they should take the a pawn? Yeah, the a pawn's triple, quadruple protected, so that's not going to happen. All right, take the g pawn. It's a pawn, fair enough. King runs away. You could still get that check in, but instead, oh, this is nice. This is nice. Although they could have just checked and taken the pawn directly as well. I don't think they have to be here to take it. This does also allow them to bring their rook in if they wanted to do something with that, but I'm not so sure. Take here, go over. Yeah. 12 minutes in, like you're actually watching from work. Otsukare-sama desu. Alright, on to the next game. We've got 4 games we've got to go over and see what's happening on the other one. So in this one, oh, this was the... Alright, Akshak, you're up. This is a... I'll go back quickly. So this is like a Marotti bind, right? Open Sicilian c4, knight c3. I feel like f3, queen up, and they drop the knight back to protect. Maybe they were supposed to take, but it does give them potential like doubled pawns and all kinds of trouble. So maybe it's not. Maybe they were supposed to put their knight there. I'm not really sure. Um, Actually, maybe they do, because if you if they take again here, then your queen kind of is a little bit stuck almost. No, it's not quite stuck. You could run away, but it seems kind of dangerous. But they drop back to knight e2 to protect the knight, and then black put everything on the other dark diagonal, which I know from my old experience in the Marotti bind can be frustrating and difficult. And like you need to play up a queen or something to help support it. But actually, black just threatened like the really cool mate here, right? Like that's very interesting. 92 is playable because it feels to me, and I haven't looked at the opening book, so I don't know. But it feels to me like white must have made some mistake here. Like I don't feel like this is the position you get in the Marotti bind normally. Like all of this. But when I looked at it, I couldn't figure out was there some other move that white had missed. Maybe it was a move order kind of situation, but feels like something's gone kind of wrong here. Okay, and then they trade the queens. Okay, so I said if I was black, I was going to play queen d8 because I wanted to castle and kind of like start throwing my pawns forward because white's king is just sitting in the center kind of silly and I have control of the dark square down this way, which is kind of tough for them to deal with. They have to jump a knight and then move a king, and I can still kind of fall back and keep control of it for a while, so seems like it's a bit dangerous. Alright, they traded instead, fair enough, castled. Alright, black just says, white just says, get out of my dark squares. I guess you could trade and just be like, I have a slight pawn advantage, but it's not really worth it maybe. Alright, so falls back. This is a great outpost, quite obviously. Interesting. Okay, so just kind of takes care of it. Yeah, if you take here, I jump. I have some potential something, I guess, hitting your knight in the back, although this square would still be available. So actually, I mean, 2,000 rated players probably not just hanging a pawn by accident, but if I take here, is it because I'm hitting your bishop and knight at the same time? I guess so, because if I take your bishop, your rook is hanging. So this is probably the main threat here. Oh, hello. I touched something by accident. Black did take. Alright, I honestly I thought this was the move here. Hit the knight, hit the bishop, and the bishop is kind of protected, not in a great way, so I didn't think e5 was the move. Knight e4. Why not just play here? I liked knight a4. Hit the bishop, hit the knight. I guess you could play back this way. Is that why? Then I could play back here, which hits your bishop. You could protect it. Maybe I'm thinking too small. Maybe it doesn't work. Very unfortunate. Alright, so gets the e4 square for a knight. Feels pretty good. Knight e3. Give me all your dark square bishops. Otherwise, I'm forking your king and rook. Although I guess you could also just kind of, let them take your dark square bishop like this. Oh, sorry, the knight's protecting it. Never mind. I mean, in that case, wouldn't I just want to jump back and hit the knight? It's kind of trapped. You have to trade it. Alright, not going to trade it. Just get the dark square bishop out, protecting your b-pawn. Pretty good. Well, I should have taken on c6 after bishop e4. c6. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, fair enough. So that was the idea, but it was a move earlier. I thought they take c6 here. Okay, so you take c6 immediately after bishop e4, hey? Alright. Okay, so the timing is kind of important. Okay. Yeah, I'm not so sure this is where you want your knight to be. Although I guess you can trade off a pair of knights. This e5, e4 knight is a little bit more active than yours, so maybe you want to get it out of the way. What if you play like f5, knight out? Because if you can take it, obviously, then you've got this. So they have to be pretty careful with how they're going to do this. It is the right time to take. Appreciate it. Appreciate these. Well, hey, there we go. Alright, so this is literally what I was thinking. Makes me think like I'm a genius. Bobby, did you see that? I predicted a good move. Let's hope it's actually a good move, though. Shit. Yeah, I felt like f5 is pretty good. They take, you take back with the knight. You're threatening this knight, and if the knight's gone, then obviously there's this fork on the board. This would be with check, so they could take once, but then they have to do something on the square because they can't not, so they probably have to trade off dark square bishops. Nope, doesn't work because you still get to get in there. Oh wow, this is actually a little bit of a tricky situation for white. You can't protect this square. I guess you just have to play the bishop back again. So they have to take it with their knight. Dangerous stuff. Alright, we're going back. I'm also just going to double check that we're not missing any more games, but I think there's only the 4. Yeah, everything else is happening in like 2.5 hours. I'm not staying up that long. Alright, here we go again. Back to Tome and Jelle. We saw a5, which also seemed like it loosened up this rook to move, but does give them a backwards b pawn. You can move the king, can't you? Maybe not. Hang on. You mean here? Um, yeah, you could move the king. I mean, in this situation, I attack your rook, and I move my knight, and I attack your rook again. So it just seems kind of tough. All right, let's just look at what Tom is doing. Wait. All right, so here we go. Knight d2. I actually thought here the threat was e4. Rook over. I would still play e4 here. It's double protected. You have to move your light square bishop. I don't think you can avoid moving your light square bishop. I mean, you can hit my rook, I guess, but I'll get 2 minors. Here you take, I take. You take with the rook, or no, you have to take with the pawn because I've got my bishop going down here. 2 minus for rook's pretty good. I want e4 in this position. JLA1, 2400 player. I'm giving them couch advice, you know. Yeah, I mean it is definitely a complex line, but it looks like e4 should be good for white here. This is me doing pretend hard calculation. I mean, if you take it, I can take back with the knight. It's not hanging. If you move your bishop anyway, I push and hit your queen. And then I get the bishop, and then I'm also hitting your rook. So even if you take the knight, I'm getting so much material, right? It's not that simple. Also, bishop e7 is defended, but you can sack on c5. Bishop b7. Oh, against the knight. Oh, I see what you mean. So here, then I do my fancy move. You probably take it, I guess. Then I take here, you fall back, and then I go, shit, I just hung a... Oh, I guess I could go here, hitting your queen and a pawn or something, but yeah, it's not as good. Be concrete. Bobby, I'm not here to be concrete. I'm here to relax and hang out and talk a bit of shit. But yeah, I would have liked to see e4, and even if it was refuted, it would have been an interesting line. Alright, so knight c4, this is the position that we thought the knight might get to later on. Hitting that backwards pawn. If you move it, I think I can take your a pawn and protect my knight with b4. And maybe get some advantage on the queen side late game. I give homeworks to my team. Yeah, man, I miss being on the team with you guys as well. I'm having fun with the people I'm playing with. They're really nice as well. But having you guys with the prep threads, oh my goodness, those are something. You and Duncan Clotfelter. All right. Oh, okay. Interesting stuff. So I could take a rook here, and you get a second pawn. Hit it. Very interesting. Take a piece, take a rook, upper exchange. The flippy checks, big seems. Yeah, okay, look, so real talk for a second, Feet. I think you are probably actually 100% correct. I said I want to play less fancy and play for tricks and stuff, but actually all that means is being lazy to calculate the line and hoping your opponent plays a bad move. You're not actually playing good moves yourselves. So I do think you are correct, and yes, being concrete. And one of the best ways to do that, although I don't think I ever will get to that level, is to write it down, right? I remember when me and Meeks were coming up, he actually got to a point where he started writing down his calculations. Yeah, he was doing pretty good stuff there. Yeah, I'm I'm not bored one. What are you guys talking about? Oh no, Martin's talking about me. Martin, every season the teams get remade, and we can only suggest who we play with. We can't actually force that. You can only ask them because they try and balance all the players to have similar strengths, so that there's no team that's like completely way stronger than everyone else, because then the league is no fun and not fair at all. Um, but yeah, me and Feet and some other people were in a team 2 seasons in a row or three. We actually won once. That was really fun as well. Sure, indeed. All right, so okay, so my point here was I was wondering if you can take the knight, so the rook. So if you're up in exchange, you lose another pawn, get out of the way, but you're also hitting this one here. But then I see also you can get forked on this end, so now you're going to lose an exchange maybe. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm just going to count everything. You team sack the board 1 and board 5 for a late season comeback. Yeah, we do sack players. Okay, so hang on. Okay, so this is me being lazy calculation, right? So take the rook. So take the knight, right? So the knight's off the board, take the rook, so it's up in exchange. Take a pawn, so it's a piece and a rook and a pawn for a thing. So I said this was the move I would play then. And then you can actually get into a position where you're hitting both rooks. So let's say you take that minor piece and I take a rook. So now black's up a pawn, but we no longer have the exchange on the board. Then you have to take here to avoid losing your other rook with check, and then they can take there. So in the end of the day, black won a pawn. Terrible line. There, I told myself that the fun line I found was not good at all. Alright, so take with the rook, and finally black brings out their a rook. I've got, classic, both rooks on the open diagonals. Knight on a pretty nice outpost. If it gets hit here, this pawn will be weak as well, so I wonder how you'll protect that. I wonder if you'd move your queen somewhere. Be difficult. Maybe move your rook over first. We'll see. Great calculation. Thank you very much. A plus. A plus. Alright, so queen back. Getting out of this whole situation here. Getting into the rest of the game again. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I accidentally touched it. Okay, here. Staying off the light squares. Protecting that backwards pawn. I mean, you could come here, right? Because if you take, I could take your rook. But it doesn't actually do much. It's not like anything really happens if that happens, so... Yeah. Well, now you also can't push here because your B pawn would hang. Kind of dangerous. Kind of uncomfortable. Rook T1. Okay, so now everyone's got all their rooks on these files. White's got a queen also here, although I doubt the queen will stick around. This was just to be able to support the rook on D1 so you can trade it off, right? Slowly trying to open up some space here. White's got more control coming in here than black's got control coming in here, right? We've got a queen, I guess. I don't know, I still feel like white might be a tiny, tiny, tiny better. Not better, but just, having this fianchetto bishop feels like unless white goes wrong, they'll just always have a slightly better situation. Alright, we're going back around again. I'm actually getting really hungry as well. Does anyone have any food I can eat? There might be an exchange sack on C5 eventually. Guitar Spider, can you explain why? I mean, I see that there could be a sack here, but the rook can take, and you got nothing. Oh, do you mean that the exchange sack is going to be to get the pawns off the board? It's like, for instance, here, you take once, then you take again, you take with your queen, you're hitting the rook and the pawn, and you're using this fianchettoed bishop to try and secure a way for a pawn to maybe promote eventually? I wonder. What if you push your B pawn here? Not right away, but in some positions you might be able to get the black's pawns and have two passes. I hear you, I hear you. So at least I got the idea. I'm also wondering if you could actually just push your B pawn here and then you hit the backwards pawn. You don't really have enough just yet. What if you play... No, then this hangs and you just look like an idiot. Never mind. You could force a trade here, but actually in this position black's the one that might be able to get some some action on the back rank. You know, their pawns are, these guys are all very solid. This king isn't getting checked anytime soon. And these two pawns are a little bit hard to get at on the dark squares right now. So I think actually, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing white's not worse. I think that long term they might be slightly better because of the bishop. But, you know, if black got in here, it could be dangerous. But it is not black's move. Alright, let's stick over to Scribs and Nestor. Okay, so this was last time. Nestor ended up doing what Akshak was recommending. Bring that bishop back and start moving some pawns, finally. Start getting going. Oh, goodness me, I see you guys are all in all of these games, actually. Alright, so here's Queen C7. We did see this. H4, very nice. I was expecting... G4 just always felt like the move to me for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but I kind of wanted to do this. I also don't really like the fact that white can force a trade of queens here. Here, you know? They can also hit that pawn, but... And if you trade off here... Yeah, then long term... White might just be able to... Oh, sorry, black might be able to make their two bishops count for a bit more, right? Alright, so c5, opening up the Leipziger bishop, trying to crush open some more pawns in the center of the board. Oh, interesting. So they actually just did this so they can solidify a knight over there. I see, I see. I mean, there's some good fun you can have over here now. And you can do this. And the queen can come in and do a check as well. It's kind of dangerous for the Scribsies. I do see this sack as well, but I don't think you actually have quite that much. Maybe if you had a rook over here, you could sack for the 2 pawns and then you could take the bishop afterwards. That could be pretty good. Alright, not going to allow you to keep your knight there. Immediately bring it back. A hole has been created though, could be dangerous. It's kind of hard to get there with the knight though, given that it's 2 squares diagonally. I mean, if you sack this knight and the queen's in the right position, it's mate time, so maybe if there's a way to... You basically just need to get the queen over here, and then you've got some options here. This would be mate if the knight sticks around, because it's covering the escape square on f6. But how do you get your queen there? Maybe, no. Yeah, maybe you have to pull over a rook and then push up an f-pawn and then come over here. So rook df1, f4, queen g3, finally looking at this square. The king can't come up because you can jump your knight with fancy checks, which could be pretty dangerous depending on where you jump it to. You can take some stuff off the board. Also, this move here might force you to take, and you could put some more pressure, but yeah, the bishop is currently keeping things a bit safe on that square. c4 though, black says, hello bishop, get off the diagonal. Fair enough. b5. I mean, this is what I felt the point was. Like, black is, for me, felt better because their pawns are further advanced. They're the ones with the potential attack versus white, who isn't quite there. Ooh, knight square for the knight. Hitting that light square bishop. You probably don't want to trade it though. They take, you can't take back. And you kind of lose a bit more of you. And you also open up the d file for the rook maybe. Yeah, okay, that seems pretty reasonable, protecting this pawn as well. So, ooh. No sacks here. g4, yes. Finally getting moving. But I think you have to... You don't have anything else hitting. You need to get a rook over here, maybe. Yeah. Oh wow, it did decide to take the knight. Okay. Oh, and now coming in for the straight. Okay, so black's trying to create just like a general advantage. And then just trade off the queens. And this is where we are now. 8 minutes left for Nestor. They got to figure out if they are okay with this trade or not. I personally think they're probably not okay with this trade. Fun one if they go here, the pawn's pinned to their queen. Maybe they want to go somewhere else. This pawn is not pinned to their queen in that case, but the pawn is also triple attacked, so they're going to lose it if they're not careful. And you can't move your queen anywhere specifically good. So actually black just found a really good situation there. This pawn is too far gone. Can't protect it. If you take, then you have time to protect it. Yeah. You have to protect it from behind though. And they can come in at it again, and then maybe you can do this. Really dangerous. Never mind. If you do, what's it, white's move? You go here, they go here, you go up, then take. And if you take here, here. Oh no, hang on, you've already lost your second rook. I thought there was another one, and then after this, there's here, and everything's just looking super, super scary. Nice one, Scribs. Looks like you're pulling out a pretty aggressive game here. Yeah, this pawn isn't gonna get dropped. I mean, you could go for it, but I kind of feel like you don't need to. It's got nothing. It's gonna get taken if it moves. So probably black's plan now is just to open up the game on this side. Or if they want to, they can still try and open up the king, but I don't really know if that's so useful. Probably the king moves. Do you take in that position? I don't even know if you do. Maybe you push up your c pawn in that position. So here, c3, so if they push, you can take back, and you've got kind of a fairly solid pawn structure around your king, although they can always kind of try and take it apart. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Alright. Off to Workshop, who was playing... Oh my goodness, I forgot to... Okay, Workshop, who was just playing such a solid game. Oh, so in this position I thought there was something better. I thought they could just take the pawn immediately. Maybe that'd be good for them, but maybe not. Alright, queen over to c3. This is what we saw last. Queen c7. I feel like this is like asking for something over here. Very dangerous. Bishop e6. Wow, okay, yeah, white is playing pretty well. So the pawn is pinned to the queen, right? And you're also attacking it, and the queen's in front of the rook. So if you end up taking like this, you'd actually just lose the queen, which would be pretty terrible. Takes the h pawn, and now black has got connected passes, man. The bishop e6 is not hanging. It is something that black can capture, but if you think about it, if you capture with the pawn, your queen hangs, right? And if you can give away a pawn and a rook for a queen, a bishop and a rook for a queen, unless something specific is happening on the board, that's just a pretty great trade, right? So yeah. Yeah, white is playing pretty good. I actually want them to play slightly less amazing because I'm a little bit concerned that they might come under some scrutiny for playing very well, to a point where it seems a little bit different from the actual rating they have, so we'll see. Alright, takes the h-pawn, king a, just getting completely out of the way. Don't really know if you had to. Maybe this is just to be able to move the queen and not be checked. Also not to be on this file. Alright, and white's now just going to start running their pawns. Pushes the e pawn. Maybe they can get their queen in here. They can cause something on the back ranks. Queen over. You've got everything defending that pawn. You've got everything attacking that pawn. But very importantly, white's also able to move up all the pawns on the back. Okay, this is interesting. Here you've got 3 defenders, 4 attackers, but it also hangs this pawn with check. And then black's actually got a passer starting to run, which is pretty fun. Alright, so white took the pawn, took back, and in this position you could take, but you'd actually fall for mate. So if white took with the rook here, you'd take a check. Unless you go here, I guess it's not mate. Although you could still force the queen trade, so this would be terrible for white. Instead they play a3. 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 I guess this opens up the back rank situation now, so they could run this way. I mean, you can still check here. They have to run back. You can hit the rook. The rook has to move or be protected. Then you could actually come in here, threatening to put your bishop across. No, hang on, this rook is hanging with mate. Alright. a3 though. Okay, and hitting the b pawn. Rook b7. Threatening some serious stuff down here. After you take though, you won't have an immediate next check. Oh, you do. Oh man, that would be so good. Here, and then you can move this bishop somewhere. Maybe here, hitting this rook, for instance. The king has to run away somewhere. Here or here. You could take here. Now the king has to run somewhere. Well, oh well, yeah. So white definitely can't have this pawn drop. The queen is defending it right now, but yeah, maybe black is hoping to find some way, you know, sack the pawn, or sack the bishop, hope they accidentally take with their queen. Because then that's mate, right? Here, mate, because the rook's already covering the escape square. Interesting stuff. So if white continue to play insanely as they have been, what do they do here? Maybe you trade off the rook at the back, take with check, the king goes up. You can always hit this twice, hit the queen, still defending. All of this is on the dark diagonal, so still defending everything, which is pretty great. White is playing insane, and white just threw the game. Uh-oh. With a3, you mean? What am I missing? The queen's still protecting here, so what if you take here, hitting the queen, take. Oh, also hitting the rook. White is listening to my stream, I doubt it. g5, white continues, says, no way there's no problems here. I guess you also have this. But as long as they can jump back along this diagonal, it's not too bad, right? They still have this. Yeah, realized they were doing too well, so they blundered to throw off suspicion. Perhaps. We only have like, what, like 8 people watching right now though, so I don't know. Sorry Patil, you're correct, he is down a piece. They took the pawn with their bishop and then they stopped taking. So they just unfortunately got a bit too excited. They do still have these passes though, so they could make something happen. We'll have to see. I'm going to move on to the other game again though. Got to keep moving along to avoid missing what's happening on the other boards. F5, the move I was looking at, which I thought was good for black. Okay, take en passant, which is almost always the right thing to do, not just because it's fun, but because it's almost always the right thing to do, I feel like. Alright, oh wow, okay. Little like left and right hook, so black breaks with the F pawn, and after you take, they break with the D pawn as well. Oh my goodness, and as you will remember, black's trying to get control of this F2 square because they can fork and take the rook in the corner. So it takes the pawn, can't take with the king obviously because it's protected by the bishop, so it just moves the rook out of the way. Takes the pawn once in the middle, but it's still still attacking this knight. Knight coming over. Okay, so white is losing the piece, but is keeping control over here. So black gave up like 2-3 pawns now. Let's see, how many did we lose here? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so 3 pawns for a piece. White's down a piece, but this knight is hanging. Well, you might just do it now just to get this knight off as well. White's got extra pawns, but extra pawns mean very little until they're actually moving, right? So tough one. Knight f4. Alright, giving up on this whole I'm gonna attack stuff. Hitting the g pawn if your light square bishop moves. Also, you probably want to get your own rook out. Hit that white king that you put in the middle of the board, right? Yes. Alright, light square bishop out. Hanging the g pawn, but hitting a rook and pinning it to the king. Very important. Great move by white. I wonder if they saw this over here. Maybe, yeah. Alright, light square bishops get traded off. Rook over to the e file. Take here. Not worth it. Alright, takes that pawn in the center and rook a4. So, I think this is... Yeah, okay, here we go. And then bishop... Ooh, dark square bishop all the way back. Avoiding being hit over here. What do you call it? Repositioning the dark square bishop somewhere better. Although, I mean, I've got to be honest, I thought that this was a pretty good move for black, getting the rook out with tempo. And this bishop can't get kicked by the pawns anymore, so it'll basically keep the queenside pawns together. So I wonder what black's trying to do with this bishop move. Maybe they're trying to just kind of trade off the knights and the dark square bishops, and then they'll be up a minor piece versus white, who has some extra pawns, but you know, hard to prove that it's actually going to be worth it. Could be something like that. Oh man, can we take like a 3-minute break? I am starving. I think I need to eat something quick. You know what? I'm gonna make myself some tea with rusks. That'll be super nice. I can start that off by just boiling some water right here. Oh yes, I think this is gonna be a tea with rusks break. I'll introduce you guys to what rusks are from South Africa, because I actually don't think that's something that's so well known. I don't actually know, are there rusks in Europe or America? It's definitely not an Asian thing. I wonder. Rusks. This. I'm gonna have some of these guys. Open image, a new tab. I don't know if anyone knows this outside of South Africa. If it's not condensed milk rusk, it's not legit. Buttermilk's also really good. And I'm assuming you're talking about the Oma rusks. Oma rusks. Oma, by the way, means grandmother in South Africa. In Afrikaans, what am I saying in South Africa? This is the logo. Let me find a box. It's more fun to look at the box. Yeah, it's the buttermilk one, no less. Oma buttermilk rusks. chunky. This is like the white bread of rusks though. It's really nice, but it's not as healthy as some other stuff. It's not Oma, the one I have. My wife already ate those. Someone gave it to us as a present from South Africa. She already ate them. But I think I'm going to have something like that. Bishop d8 kind of confuses me a bit. I'm wondering where this is going. No, have you seen they don't actually quite know what to do with it? They say it's too brittle and don't get concept of dunking in tea. You mean the buttermilk rusks are too brittle? Are you talking about people who don't know rusks saying that? I mean, if you eat a rusk dry, it's a bit unpleasant, right? It's really, really hard, so a little bit uncomfortable, maybe. Maybe black, oh, maybe white is trying to move the king over here. Oh yeah, I mean, I thought maybe it's like biltong and jerky, where it's like something that's very similar but it's different. So maybe not. I'm not sure. All right, let's go back to Tome and Jelly while we're waiting for the water to boil. We did see one trade and okay, just defending the pawn over there, not committing to moving it, so it is keeping this d3 square safe. This also covers the f pawn in case like the king runs somewhere, I guess. Comes in for the trade, king up, pawn up, and e5. Okay, so black isn't just kind of sitting around, right? They're trying to create some questions. If you take now, they get an isolated pawn, but they're pushing it forward, and they can liquidate it quite easily as well. All right, so this is the isolated pawn, and I feel like you would still liquidate it. Oh no, you can't, I guess, because the queen would take. So yeah, you have to do something else first. Just queen over. What was wrong with like putting the queen here, for instance? You could just put it straight behind the pawn you want to push. Maybe you're trying to, maybe you're trying to avoid a queen trade. Yeah, here they're coming after your d pawn now, right? Like your b pawn. This is what I was thinking. Like maybe here to protect the pawn and push from behind. Now in this case, this pawn isn't weak. Ugh, this pawn isn't weak because of the bishop and the queen. Actually, I didn't realize both of them protecting it. Now you can go here, I guess. You can defend it, and then you can just move on with your attack. You don't have any. You don't have any rusks at home. You gotta get yourself some, man. I'll show you. Yeah, I guess I could carry it here. All right, we're gonna take a 2-second break. I just want to get myself something to eat. I'm super hungry. Reconnected. Oh my goodness, my internet is so bad. It literally just whole thing just dropped. All devices in the house just lost connection for a second. Okay, as I was saying, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna put the music a bit louder. I'm just gonna step into the kitchen quick and get myself something together to eat a little bit of rusks and stuff, and then I'll be right back. Where's my be right back on by my face thing? Here we go. Be right back. Oh, hey Mix. Listen, I'm just getting myself something to eat quickly. I'm super hungry. 2 minutes, I'm gonna get some rusks and I'm gonna drink it with some tea. Alright, alright, alright. And I am back. And I'm going to make some space to eat these along the way. Alright, so what do we see here? Queen up. Yeah, Queen D6. Admitting, I guess, that maybe Queen E5 was a bit inaccurate. Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that black is clearly not just playing for a draw. I feel like they're definitely playing to put some complications on the board. And I will quickly show my fantastic, amazing... Hang on, is my microphone on? Yeah. My fantastic, amazing Rusk box. This was a gift. This is not something I know. The one that Motamort mentioned earlier was Oma Rusks, which is like the biggest brand in South Africa, but this is called LMC, Lisbon Collection. Sounds very fancy. My wife prefers the Oma ones, I think, but I'm gonna enjoy these so long. So apologies, I'm gonna be eating on stream a bit. I did mention those. You went straight for name brand. I mean, I don't know these. These were gifts from South Africa. My family sent us like a little care package thing right before baby was born, so that was really nice. Yeah, you said buttermilk and condensed milk, and those are really good. I really like the like muesli ones as well, though. There's nothing wrong with having a bit of like whole grain muesli situations happening. All right, so okay, and queen back. Just taking that pawn. I wonder if black's, if white's actually kind of like, I'll take a draw. I wonder if they are up for a repetition since they've moved their queen back. Maybe there just are no other great moves for them. Their light square bishop isn't a massive advantage. I mean, right now they can do something like this, right? They could attack that pawn a little bit. Also cut off the queen from protecting this one. So black would have to fall back. And then what? Still difficult to find a way to make progress in this position. It's kind of tricky. Alright, here we go. This one's really skinny. Alright, I should take one that at least looks kind of like a rusk should look. Okay, yeah, here's something is broken. This is basically what a rusk looks like. This is like old school tradition stuff. I need a spoon in case it breaks apart. This stuff is from the old like Dutch voortrekkers, people who came to South Africa, because it keeps really long. You bake it and then it's really hard. It keeps for a long time. You can like soften it up by putting it in coffee and tea. Eat it together with that for like a small snacky meal. Hang on, I need a spoon. So not directly my specific family, but my general culture's forefathers, I think, made this stuff back in the day. Alright, shall we move on to a different game while black figures out? Oh, they're low on time, but let's move on a little bit. Alright, so in this position, we did see black trade, and they were attacking this pawn twice. And you can't protect it so nicely because you've got to be careful. They can double attack it and everything. Okay, and white actually says, screw it, I'm not going to double protect my pawn. Why not? What happens if you take here? I guess you're also losing this back pawn here, so take. And I isolate this pawn and actually have a runner, which could be dangerous. Could be dangerous. Alright, so they're protecting the g-pawn, potentially looking to like push it, I guess. Maybe trying to force open the king there in the queen side. The king side. Yes, please. Pretty good. Rook c8. Coming to pick up the lost pawn. Rook d2. I mean, I gotta be honest. That looks a bit more like a waiting move than anything else. Unless you're trying to double up on the d-file. You are doubling up on the d-file, okay? Still not exactly sure why. Trying to get rid of that knight, okay? Okay, so black's up a pawn, black's up activity. White's king is kind of cut off and black can walk their king in a little bit, I guess. Literally as I say it. b3 trying to open up the king a bit more. Alright, oh, interesting move. Okay, and here we are. This is currently what White is trying to figure out. If you take, they can take back with their bishop for a check, but they can also take back with the pawn and just have, you know, these three pawns, two of them passed in the middle of the board. Your king will have to move because they can push with check, which could get dangerous quickly. And the bishop's also covering the promotion square of your a pawn, so you'd have to sack it if you were actually continuing further down. You could also push. You could also just wait. If they dictate, you can take back with your bishop. Although you could check you, which would be uncomfortable. People in the chat also saying they're not such a fan of black taking the b pawn because it helps to open up the white king, allows it to become a bit more active in the game. It's a thing. Kind of wonder though, the king's actually not going to get anywhere. It kind of just has a way to walk into the middle of the board. Maybe that's good enough. I'm really hungry. I didn't realize we've been doing this for over 2 hours almost. Oh, this is almost 2 hours exactly. I haven't eaten proper dinner yet. Takes. Okay, bishop take, which is a check, or pawn takes, which is a, you know, check threat. Pawn takes, immediate check, okay? d5, okay. This is pretty committal though. This bishop is kind of stuck at the, as the tip of the spear. So yeah. White's bishop is kind of chilling out to not doing much here though. I wonder if they should push to try and just get that pawn out of the way so that, I mean, this trade, unless you think you're going to be able to take the b pawn and create a passer, probably just lowers your risk. If you're trying to avoid losing the endgame, getting rid of the pawns is pretty important, because those are the ones that can eventually outrun your king and stuff like that, right? Okay, let's have a look what has happened with Workjob, who was playing like an engine, just playing really well, and then unfortunately kind of sacked a bishop for not much. This is the position where we were lost. Black does take that e pawn to check finally, and then takes the a pawn as well. Now black is finding amazing moves. Oh wow, this is a great combination. I wonder if black saw that in this position. Takes, takes. Very, very good. Still defended by the queen. You have to stay somewhere on this diagonal though. which makes it a little bit tricky. Really, really good. Okay, and white's kind of just trying to get the passer going. Oh, wow. Very dangerous. I think black might be finding a winning attack here. If we take rook over... I guess you can take and check, but yeah. I was checking this situation might be fun, but if you take here, that rook, even though it's pinned, you can't take with your king. Kings can't take pinned pieces, right? Kings can't take pieces which are defended by pinned pieces. So even though the piece can't take back, the king can't step into this potential danger, so it's a bit frustrating. This just looks crushing, yeah. Oh wow, but the bishop was hanging. Oh my goodness, this is really fun. The two rooks versus a lonely queen, and the queen all has one extra pawn. You're literally one square, one move away from... So black's basically trying to get white to step between the pawns, or find a way to check the king that forks the pawns, and if you step between them. Good stuff. What you could also do here is, I guess you could get in here, just the back rank. But this G pawn is very, very dangerous. So the fact that white has been able to move their king up all the way from the B1 square to the F5 square. Dangerous stuff. And took a pawn in the meantime. That's pretty tricky stuff. I felt like black had a really, really strong attack here, but again, as the feat says, as Bobby says, real calculation, right? Echoing what's that chess player called that also always streams with the sound effects? Boom, 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 boom. I'm blanking. It's the black guy. Oh man, I know his name. I completely forgot what his name is. Anyway, his favorite saying, and that he puts on all his merchandise, is calculation above everything. So, go figure. I didn't realize the bishop was hanging. If not, I think this would just be crushing. But with the bishop hanging, this position is not so crushing, and I think white is actually just winning now. Trying to get as many checks in as possible. Check, 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 check. You're the only chesser for me. Oh, thanks, Martin. I appreciate it. My South African homegrown, Rusk-induced specific brand of chess, yeah. If black can take this G pawn, I think we're still maybe looking at a potential draw. But yeah, otherwise I'm not so sure. I feel like eventually they'll be able to walk out of there. They'll be able to walk out of enough of the pins. I wonder here, you can check they're going to put a rook here. You can check they're going to put another rook here. And I'm not so sure where you're going to go. Check here. So you have these options. Over, back, have to come over somewhere. Well, I guess this gives you these two as well. So if you go here, I can check here. If you go here, I can also just take the pawn directly. So maybe this is good enough. Oh no, it's not, because this is still mate. So take here, mate. Is this a perpetual now? I think black found a way to make this a perpetual. I feel like white can't win anymore. Queen h8 check. Only move is king e7. Queen e5 check. King has to move back to d or f8. f8 is immediate repetition. d8 is the only difference. Check the same place again. And again you have only got 2 moves because your king isn't there to defend. So, wow, somehow black found the saving grace. Check again. Have to go back. This is just a repetition, so I have to go here. Check again anyway. You have to go back again. You can't go... Yeah. GG draw. What a wild ride. This game was insane. I'm very, very interested that it came out of a draw. As we all know, chess is technically a draw, right? Oh, I should apologize, but I'm really enjoying these and I'm still super hungry, so continuing on as we go. Yo, 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 yo. Same thing again. Just check again. Check again. Alright, let's move on to the 4th game then. This one... Oh, I was trying to figure out what this bishop d8 move was about. It is to oppose the Oxford bishop, although directly, which means that you can also take with your knight. Take, take. Take, take here, so you could... Yeah, so white actually... They lost a piece trying to defend this f2 square against the fork. And so they had to take some pawns instead. But yeah, pawns aren't winning, especially not if they're sitting at the back of your game. You have to get them forward at some point. You have to create a passer or force the opponent to sack back. If you're going to make me sack, I'm going to get my king very active. If we trade off the rooks and another pawn, suddenly things don't look so bad for white, yeah? This pawn is very weak. Then I can try to protect it, but you can try to get close to trade it off. And then a knight and 1 pawn versus 3, probably going to end up in a draw. I should apologize again, but I'm enjoying these a lot. And very importantly, eating the rusks with rooibos tea. Very South African. Very... Yeah, I guess very South African, huh? I feel like this is the move for white. If you run your rook around somewhere, I take hitting your knight. And then I can make a pass on the B file if you aren't careful. I still have a lot of time. These guys I've used, these players, have been pretty good, especially black. Still 21 minutes. They've been moving fairly quickly. And since they're doing so well, that's quite surprising as well. Supper time with mom-in-law. Oh, enjoy, man. I hope you guys have a good time. Say hi to Ange for me. I hope you guys enjoy your supper time with the mommy-in-law. Tell her to subscribe. Hope to see more mother-in-laws on the channel. The hell am I saying? Seriously. Anyway, thanks for coming past, man, and be safe. And I'll check you again another time, yeah? Or just online. Alright, and I see, right, by the way, that Navi is just doing super badly. G3, alright, okay, cool. Trying to make sure that there might be some way to protect these in the long run, I guess. Ooh, knight overprotecting the pawn. Can't attack it anymore. Can't king your king out this way. Can't check. So I guess now your rook has to move one square to be able to move another square. That's a pretty good move by black. Containing white's rook, containing white's king. You've got a check in here if you need it as well. The king will have to go back somewhere here. Alright, back to the top. Jelly and Tonic. Wow, very low. Okay. Low repetition. F5. Black is not settling for some draw situation. Queen C1. Trying to get in on the dark squares, I guess. E3 again. King over. Protecting against the king coming in here. So you can still do something here if the queen has to move somewhere. This looks really dangerous. If you go here, check you have to move back. That's still repetition. I guess you could have gone here, but then the queen has to, yeah, the king has to step away somewhere and then your knight hangs. I'm surprised they didn't just walk up here instead. Although I guess this is a little bit scary because you're in a corner. But this queen covers everything. Also covers your backwards b pawn. King h8. Oh, Jelly won with 0 time. 20 seconds. This is getting down to the wire. Alright, bishop up. Oh, that's a sneaky move. So covering the b pawn's defense with the bishop, so you can't defend it. Oh, black might be in some serious trouble now. Pushes the pawn. If you take, they can bring their queen in and hit the f pawn. You have to play defense as well. If you don't take, they try and push forward. I'm assuming that the move is to take with the knight here. Could be wrong, of course. Over here, no, because you can't move the knight. Oh, I think black might be in some real troubles. Slice bishop's covering that potential check diagonal. All I can see is to just sack that pawn and try and... But the problem is if they take, they're protecting at f pawn again anyway. You can do this. Getting the knight over there. But the bishop just can just come like sit in the middle of the board. Oh, very interesting. They're not even going for the pawn. I'm very surprised. Is white just trying to get a repetition here if you eventually move here? Oh, they can't check there anymore. Checks again. Oh, snap. Forks the knight and king. Man, that was very quick. That was really good by white. Oh, damn. I wonder if black has anything else here. If they lose that, I guess the bishop is hanging, right? So if the king moves, you take my knight, I take your bishop. Maybe it's not like losing yet. Pawns are equal. I thought for a second that white just found like a winning combination. Importantly, don't get checked by the bishop in case it can run somewhere and mess with you. And don't block with the queen because then it hangs and you've got no counter. So I think this is the move here. And then you trade off your minor pieces, and white can still try and do all the checks, but actually your queen here comes with check as well. Man, this is interesting stuff. Is this not the move? Or just back again? This is clearly a great move for black to trying to come over. Oh, king f8. Okay. So you can check over there. Forward. I don't know where you're going with your king, to be honest. I guess the point is you want to have your king be a little bit less stuck in a corner. Black is still trying to find a way to win this game, I guess. Trying to keep every potential possible option alive. My whole thinking that white is better with the light square bishop has not really come to pass that way. I mean, this just seems so dangerous. Here, you have to go back here. It's just a repetition though. There's no check besides there. I mean, this looks so dangerous, but it doesn't help much. So you just trade off here, that comes with check. You might be able to push actually. But black's queen can keep everything safe, so there's just no way to win. Hoping for this. Basically, if you can move your, didn't happen, yeah? Now you've got the situation where you can check the king and try and take this pawn. Any of these checks attacks the pawn as well. Black's knight. Yeah, there it comes. Importantly, once you take, like say they just run out of the way, you take this pawn. This bishop is pinned to your queen though. Knight e5 can win your bishop, so black might actually be very happy for you to do that. Take here, bishop can't move because queen is hanging. There's no checks anywhere. Here, take here. That's not good though, so you have to go... Oh, it doesn't work, because white can always get a check on your king. So, pick a square. They take, you hit. It's it's pinned to the queen, but the queen can move with check, either down here or anywhere back here, basically. Oh, not there. Here. This is the move. Back to f8 again. So then black just drop a pawn now. You can go here hitting this, but it doesn't work. Doesn't work. This, I guess, defends all those check squares. Can't take the pawn because the bishop hangs. Yeah, I mean, this looked like the plan, but the point being they can just move out of the way. There. There. All of these just stop your... Yep, there they go, check. Oh, wow. I'm so impressed. I didn't think that white would be able to find a way forward here, but I guess this is part of the strength of 2400, in a completely dead equal looking position, finding ways to create attacks. Oh, I'm guessing the bishop's got to move. Maybe here, and you check, and you can try and like check again and come in here, be sneaky something, but I don't know if it matters. Oh wow, okay. Not moving the bishop still. Why exactly? You were attacking that a pawn already. You could have just moved your knight. Why check here? Oh, crazy stuff. Okay, this game is not nearly as finished as I thought it was. Let's jump over. Oh, Scribs and Nestor are finished. Alright, we were here, we saw them trade. Saw this. Yes. Saw this. This is where we stopped watching. King b2, d5, yeah. Okay, gets the check on the king, comes over, gets the light square bishop out. d5, whoa, okay. Sacks the rook for the bishop. I mean, that kind of looks losing, to be honest, because you can get three connected pawns like this, two of which will be passes. Oh wow, okay, and black's like, no, never mind. I'll take two connected pawns in front of your king instead. Goodness me. If you take here, take back, and you try and run up here, maybe you take, and then you push here first. And then even if they come in, take, push here, they start running up, in, up, You're still protecting. They push, take. I think black's winning that endgame actually. I think you could have taken here. We'll look at a second. King up first, rook over to take the a pawn out. Ah, Nestor's just, position's just crushing. Ah, okay, and then black said, cool, fair enough, I'll take my 2 passes, you can't win this anymore. GG. Interesting times. I'm going to run into the analysis quickly. I'm kind of curious how far in was general theory situations. Oh my goodness, yeah, d4. e4, Staunton, knight c3, knight f6, bishop g5. Okay, and already just completely not take with the pawn. Yeah, let's take with the pawn. Oh, so yeah, white was actually better out of the opening here. Ah, they had to launch the pawns. Unfortunate. Okay, and they had to go directly castle. None of this like slow. Yeah, I think white was just playing a bit too slowly. I mean, they clearly got an advantage twice in the game, but yeah, I wanted to see them launch their pawns a lot sooner. Opening up the position, not looking too good according to the engine. Ah, okay, hang on. Ooh. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Yeah, that's real dangerous. I did not consider the idea of sacking a piece when it comes with check and opening up the king that way. That's very interesting. I didn't consider that at all. Instead, moving the knight away is just slightly better for black. Goodness me. Okay. Oh, and now moving the pawns is no longer that good. It's very unfortunate. Trading queens was actually not that great. Even though you're losing the pawn. Oh, because you can pin to the queen and make some other plays potentially. Hmm. You also have this hitting the queen at the back. Okay. Okay, GG. That was a very interesting game. Workflow. Oh, okay, hang on. All our games are finishing now. Yeah, so this one was a draw. Did I say GG and the other one GG? This was also a very interesting game. Let me quickly jump over to see. Oh, what a roller coaster. Look at that. Okay, so I thought that something was wrong here. Okay, yeah, it takes with the bishop c4, very good for black, but you have to play some of these moves, at least scores very well. Ah, you had to go for it directly. Yeah, you shouldn't have given them because one, you do this, I take, and then I'm hitting this, and I'm hitting this, and you can't defend everything at the same time. Also hitting your bishop. Wow, that's here. Hitting that and that and that same time. You're just winning a piece. Oh wow. Yeah, I didn't even like try and calculate that. Alright. Now it's better for white again. Mongreltiger does studies. Very good, very good. Okay, yeah, I did see knight f6 felt like a move for me at some point, but white clearly better. White slightly. Yeah, now because the a4 can push your rook around. Straight queen up was the crusher here. Here. Queen d6 takes that pawn directly, and then your queen's just picking up everything besides. Fair enough. Okay, so take there slightly not as good, but still very good. Yes, yes. And this is just mega losing as soon as you take back directly, and then take with a rook, doubling attack. Oh, and you have to take it, and you can't take this way, because then I checkmate you. Oh man. All right, so let's see. Blunder, blunder. Blunderish again. Blunder again. Oh my goodness. Blunder again. So many blunders. Alright. Looking okay. This looked like such a good combination, but no good. Blunder again, I guess. Blunder again. Now it's mate in 6. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. And another blunder. This was a roller coaster and a half. And then very unfortunately for white. Oh man, if you blocked with this one, here, you can't come in. Oh wow, they just had to choose the other rook and would have been perfectly fine. Still completely winning. Wow, yeah, and you've got this, which is really dangerous. If they come in here, you drop back. You've got this coming, you can move the pawn forward. Oh man. Crazy, crazy stuff. Alright, GG. Over. Oh, okay, everything's finishing. I think that's calling for us to maybe go to bed in a bit. So I really liked knight c7, kind of shutting down white's rook. Alright, so white starts marching their pawns up, gets their king in there, pawns up some more, rook finally moving to that square, yeah. Takes the pawn, they're trading now. White's running their pawns, right? Trying hard to... Oh, and black gives away one of their pawns. They can't move their rook without it becoming a problem. I mean, they could have pushed the king away here, like this. But yeah, things are getting a bit tough. With the white's pawns finally moving as well. I did not see that mate at all. I don't think I've ever seen this. Take, check you. These are the squares you can go to, right? Oh, sorry, these are the squares you can't go to. And this one, just GG, mates. Let's look at the analysis quickly and see how far that went. Oh, okay. It's actually better for white there in a second. Okay. Oh yeah, knight xc was the move here. f3 is incorrect and better for black. Actually, castling's great, d5 is great, queen a5, okay. Ah, this was the move? Just like this, I guess? Yeah, you're just doing okay. This is slightly worse, although completely equal. Just feels like black's kind of... Yeah, this was the move, 9a4 was the move. Ah, knew it. Okay. Oh, you had to actually just give the exchange. Oh, because you would win the knight back at least, yeah. Okay. But we didn't do that. We just gave it up. Oh, trade off everything. Black's just constantly better the whole time. Okay. And then right here at the end, white was better for a second. Let's just get to that. Okay, so taking the pawn was fine. And king c5 was plus 3.7. Oh, wow. Okay, very unfortunate for white. Just a very, very, very unfortunate last move there. Basically, any move except king a5 was fine. But what an amazing mate. And you've got this guy coming in. X-ray defending the pawn as well. Wow, that was pretty crazy. GG, GG. Alright, and here's the last game that's still going. Black. White did win that pawn. Moving the bishop out of the way, securing the pawn side. Black's throwing their pawns now, trying to make something happen. Very interesting. So not taking back, right? Not taking back, but actually just pushing their pawn up. Now you're hitting this knight. If you trade off, Sacking the knight. Goodness me. Just coming in for all the checks possible. Oh wow. Can you defend against that? Can't. I have to go here. I mean, you've got to assume that this is still winning for white now, but wow, interesting stuff. Hey, Akshak, what you say? My game is at 1930 UTC, so I have to wait for a long time. Yeah, 1930 UTC for me is 28. That's 4 a.m. 4:30 a.m. my side. So that's definitely not happening. It's almost 1 a.m. I'm still gonna eat some breakfast in a bit. Yeah, you've got these two checks. I'm assuming you're gonna come on the behind side because that gives you more access if you need to move somewhere else. Actually, that might be a tough square. This might be the way that white gets out. You go here, go back. You probably have to hit them somewhere else. But you don't have anything defended here, yeah. Oh, it's 1 a.m. for you as well? You're playing your game at 1 a.m.? That sounds a bit crazy. I wouldn't be playing my chess game at 1 a.m. Oh, black. Maybe this is the... No, I think you're just out of checks now. They go up, you can't. Then I think you just have to like run your pawn. Yeah, here you just have to start running the pawn. Here, because this also comes on that dark square diagonal, so your match is at 1 a.m. That's way too late, man. That's craziness. Ah, but there's a mate over here. This is mate. Oh, that's so tough. That's so tough. So you can check them. They can go somewhere. You can check them here. They can go there. You have to cover that square because it's mate. So then you have to come back. Oh, you're just kind of worse, unfortunately. White can crack you open a bit. You can't do this. Yeah, what happens after this, you know? Can't go here. No more checks. Gotta defend. Yo, black is not giving up. This is some crazy fighting spirit. My opponent is 9 hours and 30 minutes behind. Oh yeah, you're playing against someone in America probably, right? I often have like 12 to 17-hour differences depending on where my opponents are. It can get absolutely crazy. It's really, really so silly. Alright, yeah, this is unfortunately it, I think. I mean, these guys have been pulling out some crazy tricks, but there's mate on the board here and it's very hard to stop. You kind of have to play queen f8. What does white do in that case? They can push you. Threaten you here. And then there's a whole new set of checks still coming in. Maybe actually here. You don't want black's pawn to run. Wow. This is a crazy game. Akshak, who do you think's winning in this position? Do you think black has lost? Do you think white has it? Because with that G pawn that's running, you gotta be really careful. I mean, this is forced. You just gotta move. Not much to do about it. Oh wait, you have two moves. I guess you can go here as well. Fair enough. Shit me. Do you think black might actually be winning if they trade off queens now because of this? You have to keep protecting it. And they've got three pawns, so they could actually build up enough to push the bishop out of the way. I mean, they're only up one pawn, but the fact that it's like a passer on the back already. Craziness. This is also maybe why you get to be higher rated. The tenacity, you know? I legit thought black had already lost, but... Oh, okay, well, losing that G pawn, unfortunately does, I think, hinder their potential. Okay, they've got a few different checks. That was one of them. They had all of these potential checks to go on. I wonder how much it even matters, you know, where they go at this point. You can't x-ray anything that matters, so you're literally just trying to check them long enough. Now you can check them here to avoid losing the pawn. We can lose the pawn, I guess. Like, check them once, they take it, check them again, and then take the a pawn on the back. Try to get rid of the pawns. But white also has a check, and again, the king has to be really careful because it could turn out to be mate on the back if you run forward. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm gonna give this 5 more minutes. I'm loving the game, but I'm exhausted. I got to play a bit of futsal as well. It was really fun. Oh, they actually looks like they might be doing that. Take the a pawn, and then if this queen starts getting feisty again, it's not an immediate way to make any mate. Black has time to come back. And they've basically traded off the extra pawn. So white is up a bishop, but you know, still has to prove that they can win this position. They should be able to, right? But it's been a long slog. It's been a really long slog. Although, I mean, from about here, yeah, I mean, white just took care of the counterplay by getting rid of that G pawn. And now, only got like 2 moves basically, right? They take your a pawn, or do they? Do they instead just start like checking you around? Oh, that probably wouldn't work. Gonna have to take, I think. The problem with taking, unfortunately, is that it also removes you from being able to check the king. You have to then reposition your queen to try again. Oh, no, hang on. You do have this. And they can't block with the queen because then you take this and you've got the 2 passes again. Yo, this is amazing. You would think that it's a clear win for white, but black's got so much potential, checking power, picking up another pawn there quickly after the one they lost. Okay, you decide to go there, stay on the light squares. No checks from the back, importantly. Nothing like this. So if black takes, they then have to come back to be able to check again, or take maybe and come, you know, somewhere else. Probably here, so they can come back and do some checks on the back. Does take the a pawn. I mean, white basically wants to try and move this b pawn, I guess, right? Here, you have to move to one of these. And then you can come in here, threatening this. check again, check here, mate. So I think this would be my plan as white. Yeah, and if you go up, I check. If you go here, I check again. You can come out, but I feel like I'm gonna find a way to finish checking you. I'll be able to push you into the corner eventually and just mate you there. Isn't this it? There's only 2 moves. And then it's here, and black has no checks. And then after that, if it isn't check already, you've got this. Because, I know, here, black can come back here, I guess. But if you force the exchange, you've got a running B pawn. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is winning for black or for white now, finally. Maybe they're trying to figure it out. They're looking at some other lines first. What am I missing? I don't think there's any way for black to stop this anymore. Check. This is instant mate. This is all impossible. This is impossible. This is impossible. So you have these 2 moves. If you go there, I check you immediately. You've got 1 move. Check you again. You've got 2. If you go back there, I check you again. And then it's mate like this. If you go here, I check you again. And I'm just slowly pushing you into the corner where I think it will mate you. If you look at me looking so angry at the game. I mean, you can do what now? I guess you can't do much. You can push past and they can check you and come in with the queen. They check you, you've only got 2-3 squares to get to. Can't go there because it's mate. Ah, GG. Oh my goodness, what a game. Oh, hang on. What a game. GG, what a game. That was crazy interesting. Okay. This is great timing because I'm definitely going to go to bed now. But I just want to have a quick glance at what the engine says about how that went because that was very, very entertaining. Yeah, white was just crushing, although it looked really, really hard to convert. Knight e5 was actually pretty equal at some point still. And here again, white actually lost their advantage. Oh, very equal for a long time. Let's just see what this was called after the Nimzo Larsen and then everyone. Fianchetto's everything else. Stays the Nimzo Larsen. Okay. Fair enough. I'm just gonna go to the spots. Yeah, so king over into the center was dangerous. They just had to go here. Interesting. And they just had to pick it up instantly. Yeah, they didn't do that for a while. And this is actually... Then you take it? That's very interesting. Okay, now apparently it's plus versus not. And then knight back was actually just mega losing. So this is still equal. You have to centralize your queen, stop all these checks. Queen d6. Yeah, hitting here. And I guess now this is going to turn into kind of a check fest. So now it's just losing for black all the way. I'm not going to look through all of this because it looked very much like this. In this position, is everything crushing. F5 is the fastest mate. Queen C3 isn't the fast, isn't... Okay, well, you can play this. King H7, I was gonna go here. No way! Wow, I completely lost it. Okay, my plan doesn't work. That is why I'm not 2,400 rated. Or 2,270. GG. Alright, that was an amazing game. I really, really enjoyed it. I am now officially done for the night. Thank you everyone who was sticking around. Thank you everyone who came to just say hi along the way. I think it's time for me to go get a last bit of food and get to bed. Have a quick look over here. I'm literally just opening the stream now. Thanks all for coming past. Thank you very much for everyone who's sticking around and did some conversation. Always really fun. I really enjoy chatting. If anyone really likes just the content and wants some more, please check out the channel. There's a bunch of stuff here. We were talking about it earlier, but I've actually got 2 series running right now. We're doing tournament reviews from a tournament I played last year still. And I'm also just trying to play some 15 plus 10 games and focus a little bit and improve my general thinking, improve my principle review, and a few opening lines and such like as well. So yeah, always welcome, always appreciate people coming past the channel as well. Subscribe, tell your family, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Akshak, what in the world is these stats? So strong. Yep. Be safe, take care, and I think that's it. Thank you very much for hanging out, Akshak. I hope that you enjoy a game, by the way. I'll have a look tomorrow when I wake up and see how things went. Be safe and take care. See you guys next time. Ciao, ciao.